So rugby league has all different identities: referees, coaches, players, media. You know, the list goes on. Administration, but this person, Brian, I think if you put up a photo of this person, they would say synonymous with rugby league because she has become a very major part of rugby league, a very major part of Fox Sports and Fox NRL, Fox League Live.
Fox League.
Live.
It's just called Fox League.
Okay, what's our Flegler thing?
Fox League, every game,
Live, every round. That's Flegler.
That's Flegler.
That's Flegler. Well, you know a big part of Flegler? Tell you what, she might be red v part of me. Lara Pitt,
Lara Pitt's in
welcome.
the house.
For the first time
Ever.
live
What an intro.
for the run home.
Long-time listener, first-time caller.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
to watch you two in action.
Do you listen, Lara?
I do. I text you, Joel, on a Thursday or Friday on my
Rock
way
solid.
out to
Thank you.
Penrith and give you my opinion on things. Don't you remember last year
Yeah,
I
I do.
peppered you about a
I didn't
couple
get
of
a text.
issues?
I didn't get a text.
You're not there on Thursday
No,
or
I'm
Friday,
not.
are you? Is it
No.
Thursday, Friday day off for you?
Yep.
Half
Golf.
week? Yeah.
Golf.
You know how I
don't
pepper...
expect you to
Or
work
coming
a
to
full
Luna
week.
Park to get on the mousetrap.
Yes.
Different type of peppering, Brian. You know how I pepper you and Matthew on a weekend and we needed an intervention?
Yes.
Bisto? Lara peppers me in a more professional manner.
Okay.
Okay,
Yes.
you understand? So she's driving out to the footballs or any information.
Oh.
But this is bringing back memories because I got my start on Matty
Yeah.
John's show with Fletch, and
Ooh,
thank you to me.
Yeah, I'm getting some.
They wanted Aaron Molan, and I said no.
Oh, did you? Thanks for that.
No, they said it.
Okay, protest. Time out. A time out. Can we do this?
Yes,
All right.
please.
Who would like to know more about Lara?
Getting to know you.
Yes, thank you.
Except for the four creepy blokes at the back there, you might not be able to say anything.
Okay.
Crazy fact: I played the governess in The King and I when
Did ya?
I was in Year 3.
We're going to start
you
from there.
watched this?
Yeah.
No, I've not.
Well, Yul Brynner.
No, just the movie. You know what I'm talking about,
Yeah,
The King and I.
King and I.
Yes.
I got cast as the governess, and I sang that song. It was
Did
so
you?
embarrassing, and at the time I thought I was a very talented singer.
Okay,
but it didn't work out. Clearly.
We are going to unearth the Lara Pitt story, which I don't think the rugby league world knows. I certainly don't. So Year 3, you're doing that. So you've clearly got but you clearly have a penchant for entertaining and doing things. At what stage do you start thinking about this vocation you're in now?
Well, certainly loved sport. That's first and foremost.
Yep.
Played lots of it, just not very well.
Grew up where?
Grew up in Kensington,
Yep.
so technically South Territory.
How many
and
siblings?
2 older brothers,
Yes.
so that has a lot to say and a big part to play in all of this. I was dragged around to their footy as a youngster, but loved sport. Definitely didn't see myself doing what I'm doing now, but probably because there wasn't anyone really doing it, and I
Yep.
didn't see it as a real genuine pathway. So I went to uni, studied commerce, finished that, didn't really have my sight set on anything, and ultimately was at the footy every weekend, sitting on the hill at Cogra watching footy, and decided I'd really like to be a part of this.
Okay, all right. So the listening audience who are listening wherever they are, through the app anywhere in the world, maybe Sydney, Brisbane, doesn't matter. But our live audience, right, they've all met their partner or met their job or met where they live due to a door of the sliding variety. There must have been a massive sliding door moment where it might not have been Lara Pitt that we know. It was somebody else, Like what happened? Do you reckon was a major catalyst?
So I was watching the footy show every week because
Yep.
that was the only that was the way you watched your Fun and Fatty and
Yep.
everyone, and they had Lady Luck, and that was the
yes.
only female
Yeah.
that I saw that was talking about footy, and I thought
Was that Natalie
Grzelewski,
Grzelewski?
yeah,
Yes.
and there
Amongst others.
There was a few others,
Yep.
but they had guests doing it anyway, and I just remember thinking, I'd like to be involved, but I don't want to do that. Like, I don't want to be the girl who
No.
just looks good and says fun things, but doesn't take, like, in the nicest way possible.
want to be a- you
I
want to be a
taken,
major player.
Yeah, I
Yep.
want to be taken seriously.
Yeah.
So I kind of got that motivation and that drive within to say I'd like to do it, and I don't think I looked back. So I started working in all different newsrooms in work experience capacity. I actually ended up getting some work experience on the footy show for a year.
Oh, did you?
At Channel 9 in
Yep.
forever ago.
Yep.
And then the Fox Sports newsroom started, Channel 513, 2006, and I
Yep.
met Adam Peacock through one of my work experience opportunities, and he said, why don't you, try and get your foot in the door there.
What a great man he is too,
Yeah,
sprightly.
we've all come from sort of that. If you look at a lot of the sports presenters and media
Bracey was
identities-
down that path.
Yeah, well, he was at Sky for
Yeah.
quite a while. Anyway, very long story short, I couldn't get a gig because all the gigs were full, but I got a job logging sport at Fox Sports
Did ya?
News. So I just had to...
Sorry. For those who don't know what you're talking about, which would be 99%, logging news means what? What were you actually? What was Lara Pitt doing then?
I would get a rotational shift of work every week. It would change, and I would get rostered on to watch tennis, for instance. I'd have to time code every shot.
Yep.
Or I'd do that with golf. I'd do that with skateboarding. I'd do that with whatever sport I was rostered onto. And plenty of people in that department went on to different roles, including Jeremy Markham over there.
But just to give a bit of insight on that, so quite often you'll see
was Brooksy in logging? Yeah.
Happy birthday, Brooksy, too, by the way. Happy birthday, folks, to our man Nathan Brooks, the leader of the show.
Yeah.
He's not on the mic today. We give his birthday. He's got the day off, so he's just having a couple of quiet ones in the background. But
long story short, logging for a while. As soon as I got into the building at Fox Sports, at the coffee machine, you'd meet people.
Yep.
I started harassing people and saying I want to get down to the newsroom, and eventually a shift came up. They gave me a freelance shift, a 4 a.m.er. And I didn't go away, basically.
I love that. I love that. And you know what? So many people who have tracked this path, you got to feel. I was speaking to a bloke today. I gave him a lift back into town. I said, you got to...
Really? You gave someone a lift? Did you know this gentleman?
Well, kind of.
He wasn't from Taiwan,
No, you know the person. I won't say. But no, hang on, let me finish, Brian.
You've been going for 20 minutes.
But in life, sometimes you just got to fill the logbook up. It's not about the money, is it, Lara? Like all those early hours and time you did logging and just putting yourself in the picture. You can't get drawn out of the barrel if you haven't put your tickets in the barrel, Brian. Would you like to have a say about that?
It's definitely about the money for Fletch.
No,
but
it's not.
For me.
No, I'm doing this for nothing today. Corey Parker's getting all the money. Lars, I'd like to ask you a question. If you have your time over, knowing that you love this job now, and you went to university, and for all the young ladies out there who are thinking about doing this, what sort of study should you do if you're going, or a degree?
I went back. I did postgrad journalism.
Okay. Do you need that? Do you feel?
My advice is study, but you still have plenty of time on your hands when you're at uni. So anyone I ever speak to that's wanting to get into this, I said intern somewhere. Put your hand up. Work for free for a day a week, if you can. If you can't, just get in wherever you can and learn the craft from. My opinion is you're better off learning all of it, not just saying, I want to be on TV, because it's not going to help you.
Now, we know that you love your Mighty Dragons.
Yes, I do. But can I preface it? I don't lose sleep over it. There are people in my home, their happiness is determined by what happens in that 80 minutes on the weekend.
There is a lot of people out there like that.
It's really sad.
What other sports do you like? Like, is there another sport you would like to cover?
Yeah. I'd love to do... the Australian Open, go to Wimbledon. I've been as a fan. I'd love to cover a Soccer World Cup.
Okay.
Any major tournament.
Olympics.
And Olympics. I think Olympics is a huge one. You'd have to know everything about everything.
Yeah.
I think one of the beauties of being involved in rugby league now for so long is that the thing I'm proudest of is the relationships you create and the credibility you have by working in one sport. It means that you're not necessarily able to cross over to. I'm not jumping on the AFL coverage. I'm not jumping on cricket.
Anyone watch that? No one watches that sport.
No. Lara, 2 questions, and I'll share and I'll ask Brian the same thing. In your career, your highlight and something you're most proud of and something you're embarrassed of. What I'm embarrassed of is I was a very young person and I was given the very rare opportunity to call the Bolt final. Usain Bolt came out, met Usain Bolt, and I got to call the 100-metre race for the rugby league players. And I hadn't watched how Olympians, how they get called at the Olympics. I hadn't done the homework. So it was less about, I spent so much time knowing the players when the better thing would have been to watch 100 videos of how do you call a 100-metre final. Yeah. And when I hear it back, I'm so embarrassed by it, right, that I was given such an opportunity, Channel 10 at the time. What's your highlight and what's the one thing that you go, I wish I didn't do that?
I reckon you have those moments every now and then. Like every year you'd have a moment on air where you go, why did I say that? How did that come out like that? No matter how much prep you do, you think you're going to nail every word and, sometimes you might not get the facts 100% right. I can't think of a blooper off the top of my head, but there's, if you...
I can't for you, by the way, either.
If you care, you go home and you lie in bed at night and go, why did I say that? Or why didn't it come out this way? Of course there's 100 ways you could do it. I think proudest moment for me, I love this is what I'm a sucker for. I'm a sucker for the drama. So I like when I'm at the games, if I'm going to the press conferences and you're getting the big story out of the coach at full time and or you're in the sheds. When I used to be able to go do State of Origin sheds reactions, and you got after game 1, everyone in the New South Wales sheds heartbroken, and then after game 2, they level the series, and you're there for those moments. Those are career highlights for me. I haven't probably got one gotcha moment yet. I mean, I feel like I get it every week. I get to do the best job in the world, speak to the players before they go out, straight after they finish, after the heartache or after the glory.
All right, Lars, who's a coach you love dealing with? Who's very open and you get along
Tough question, Brian.
No, I want to say, who out of all the coaches, and you can throw a player in there as well, who's someone that you can trust that will give you the right answer?
Wayne Bennett.
Wayne Bennett.
Really?
I'm joking.
No,
no, I love Wayne, but no, he's notoriously prickly, and I squirm through some of my interviews with him, but I think, even Freddie does. He takes joy out of making it awkward. My favourite, I really enjoy interviewing Ricky because there's always a lot of emotion in Ricky, and I'm even a sucker again for that part where you can get, you can just mention a player and you're sometimes going to get a tear from him before a game, and nothing's happened, but he's just so invested. I love interviewing Ricky. I love speaking to, who else I'm trying to think off the top of my head.
All right, let's go to the other end of the spectrum.
Yeah.
Who's someone who's a bit tough?
Good luck with
Other
this.
than Wayne, who's someone where you're thinking, gosh, I know, like, as soon as the camera goes onto them, they're pretty guarded.
It's not going to surprise you. The Nutty Professor.
Oh,
okay,
Desmond.
Yeah, Desmond.
Yeah, you can go into a pre-game interview, there's a handshake, there's a really cordial, open, enjoyable chat. The camera comes on and you get absolutely nothing out of the interview.
That's the hardest part as a journalist, isn't it? When you ask a question and you're getting 2 or 3 syllable answers and you've got to come back to the well and you've got to come back to the well and you burn your questions.
I've had a couple of coaches, disappoint me. You think you've nailed some really good questions and they get the shits with you in a pre-game and you're like, what's that about?
Yeah.
But
players,
they've got a lot going on.
Players? Who's a joy?
A joy. The Trebojevic brothers are always a joy.
I knew you were going to say that.
Yeah. Anyone from the Dragons when they win.
What about someone who is a bit prickly, player-wise? I mean, let's not get in the Darius Boyd levels.
No.
But is there someone who you just go...
I think I'm pretty lucky.
Really?
I don't think I've had anyone be too...
nasty.
Back off-ish with the players. I think they realise they've got to show respect. It's going to make them look pretty stupid.
Yep.
On Darius Boyd is a Clive Churchill medalist, Brian.
Yeah.
And Lara, who is a beautiful mum, is a wonderful talent when it comes to media. But you're allowed to grow up as a fan. Lara grew up as a Dragons fan. Like all of us, we get to be a fan.
Do you know...
2010, Lara, tell us about that day for you.
I was in the newsroom.
Yep.
I was on a news reading shift that day.
Yes.
So I couldn't get out of it because I was, working my way up. Couldn't ask for the day off. It was grand final day. So we got to do all the crosses out to Accor and I couldn't be there. And I worked up until the game. So I couldn't, unfortunately, get out there. So we had a big family hoo-ha at our apartment at the time. As many of us that could fit in there as possible. The photos are gold now. You look back, it feels like yesterday. And you just knew they were going to win.
Yeah,
for so many years.
You're losing at half time, remember that?
Yeah,
But you just didn't feel... No.
You didn't feel that?
No. The Roosters were... No.
Now, you know what I loved? When Brett Morris put his foot out to touch and they let it go and then they kicked over and cost the Roosters the game.
Oh, that was Dragons fan. He's laughing his head off. He knows.
I thought that was pretty,
That was
pretty
year.
handy.
It wasn't your year. No way. The year before... The prelim against the Tigers at Accor was frightening.
Yeah, 13-12.
That was the one that I was worried about because of the 2005 heartache.
Yes.
But once we got through that, in Wayne we trust. Yeah,
Wow.
wasn't worried. No.
Just on the mousetrap here, I know we're going through a cost of living crisis. How much electricity is being used while the mousetrap has been going round and round and round for the last
round and round.
I'm blaming Chris Minns for that.
Hey, we've only got a minute, Brian, so we want to ask Lara the big questions.
Yep.
Which team are you most excited about? Which team have you got grave concerns about? And your Dragons, how do you see them going?
Excited about all of them because I'm a sucker for rugby league, but we had pre-season interviews with all the clubs and there was some, I think that the storm of, that this is their time to shine now that the Panthers have lost a couple of players. Cameron Munster on a booze ban is a scary thing. I think that he'll be excellent this year. The worry, I can't take a lot out of the trial. So if I was not looking at the trials, thinking about the season ahead, I was worried about the Dolphins without Wayne and Newcastle.
Yeah.
Big worries for them.
Your Dragons?
And the Dragons, I have great optimism that we can get the 2 extra wins that we needed last year. If we hadn't have fallen off that perch, we would have been in the 8. And in Gutho, Cookie, Val and Flano we trust.
And in Lara we trust. Bron, we've got to go.
Yeah, Lara's got to go pick up the children.
Yes, but you can catch all 4 games of NRL Las Vegas edition number 2 live and exclusive on Fox League throughout KO Sports, and of course Lara,
we'll be there.
You'll be there.
Yeah, Brian,
I'll be there.
Look after yourself.
I'm not drinking.
I will see you
I
there.
am not drinking.
Okay, you leave tomorrow. Be good.
So Lara,
Thursday.
from Fox, the NRL and all involved last year, it was still a cadente. But it just goes another level. You just know this year is something special, isn't it?
It is so good. You didn't go last year.
I went to Vegas, not there, to that game though. I'm coming this year.
Lars, if we get Donald Trump there, would you get a photo with him? Would you get do you like Trump?
I haven't thought about it.
I have.
Lara Pitt, thanks for sharing your story. You're a legend. We'll see you in Vegas.
You're still here? We'll see more on the Joel and Fletch socials and catch us live on SEN Radio. Because if you don't, you're an A grade. But if you do, you're the absolute Mickey.